Fire. Ice. Lightning. Put these together and you have one amazing build. Everyone, and welcome to a new video. In this video I'll be showcasing the avatar build. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Let's get right into how I made this build. First of all, for the head, I would say Exploiters is the best legendary aspect for the headpiece. Currently I have the barrier, which does quite well, but for this mid-range build I don't have every piece already set locked. I'm currently farming all the pieces. That's why all of the nightmare dungeons that I did were also not that high tier. This is not a tier 100 build, this is not an end game build, this is a mid game build. When you just entered that new world tier 3 and you just want to check out, get some new builds or build towards something with all of your new sacred gear, this is the build you want to play, and this is a build that's a lot of fun. Being like the avatar with multiple elements, it's a lot of fun, you deal a lot of damage, it is great, it feels great to play, and that's all you want for a build. So let's get into the next item. Of course, you get Disobedience. It's one of the best things in slot. I would say for your chest, get some more damage reduction if you're feeling a little bit squishy, but I have shock damage. It's quite nice, but the frost skill damage is not that. I reroll it all the time. I'm still getting a better piece, but I would say Disobedience is great for the chest piece. Then for your arm slot or either one of your ring slots, weapon can also be just anywhere. It's a dump slot, but you need this passive for your frozen orbs. They will now explode twice and actually do a lot more CC in that way. Then for your pants, I personally think that this unit fits quite well with the rest of the build, just getting a lot more ice in there. I don't have any cooldown reduction yet, so my Frost Nova is at a 20-second cooldown, which maybe can get down to 16 seconds, but it's still quite long. With this, you can get some more Frost Novas out there. If you kill someone within your Frost Nova, there's a 20% chance that it will release another Frost Nova, meaning that this can just stack and spam, or just clear out everything, just freeze everything over in a very quick time. And also, all of your frozen orbs will then also freeze them, which can also proc this more for more freezing, and it chains very well nice together. Then the next one are the boots. I would personally say just go for boots where you can get as much movement speed on there as possible. I got these boots. These are quite nice because I got a max rolled, so I'm taking these boots. They got like a little bit of critical strike chance increase, which goes great with this build. Then for the staff, I personally have this one. It's great. And I would say 70% more damage to immobilize, frozen, or stunned. You're stunning and freezing constantly with this build, so that's a lot of extra damage you can get just from this staff. I do think that going a dagger and focus is also really good because you get more attack speed, meaning you can cast more chain lightnings, which does have some nice synergy with this build, because every time you cast something, then you have a chance for a frozen orb. So more casting means more frozen orbs as well. Yeah, for Amulet, I think this one is almost always going to be the Chain Lightning, which means the Unbroken Tether, so you get more chance for procs for Chain Lightning. This one, of course, is paired with the Recharging Loop, which will mean that every time it bounces, you will gain mana back, and this one will give you additional bounces, which means you get a lot more mana in each and every cast, meaning that you will not run out of mana anytime soon, because you're constantly spamming the Chain Lightning, which is bouncing around, and then you're getting mana back. I got a shitty roll. I got the minimum roll for this one, 1.5, but if you can get one with 3, I would think that a lot of your mana problems slowly just dwindle away. And this also, if you get the max percentage on there, all of your chances just slowly, all of your mana problems just slowly fade away, because just with these two, you're already quite set for mana. I do think the Crackling Energy is also very good to get extra, but just these two already settle you for so much if you get max rolls on them. But yeah, you gotta farm a bit for those, as you can see. Then for the Vicious Heart that I put in there, the elemental one is I just forgot the name for it. I think it's something about Tal Rasha, but the 12% increased damage for every element that you do. You're constantly working with 3 different elements, so you can keep this up easily. With just casting one lightning strike, you already have it up for 36 extra damage, or in this case 33, because I don't have the max roll yet. There's a lot of things I still need to farm. This one for the Wrathful Heart, I kind of had like 3 different ones you can put in. You can put the 20% reduced damage, which explodes for shadow damage in there as well. get a little bit another element in there. It could be nice to do that, but this one is quite open. I think this one is also really nice because it gives attack speed, or just get you a chance to restore more of your primary resources, which means you can spam a little bit more. And the barrier is always nice because with the barrier you can also procking the other aspects as well. Then for the last ring, and a legendary aspect for this one is that you restore primary resource when you crowd control an enemy. Well, as you know, this one also when you freeze everything, that counts as crowd controlling, so you're constantly crowd controlling enemies. If you can get this to 4, your mana problems also will just disappear. If you had any left with a shitty roll on this and a shitty roll on this, for example. Then for the recharging loop, of course, you get the mana back every time it bounces. And then I would say for the Vicious Heart, you could go for a Barber. I would personally say a Barber is quite nice, but I haven't dropped a good one that is on 2 seconds or 2.5 seconds or lower. So 4 seconds is just a little bit too long and too clunky, which I don't really like. And the Barber really increases every build and makes it a lot easier because all of your single target damage will now be AoE damage. And you can guess with a lot of AoE damage that's already in there, it's going to be blowing everything up. Possible alternatives, as I was saying earlier, you could, instead of doing one staff, you could have the dagger and the focus in hand. I would say getting increased damage while your barrier is active, so conceded, I would say it's very good. Getting extra critical strike chance, your mana will be up a lot of the time, so getting extra crit chance is really good, and you can get your crit chance up to 100, which will also mean that you can get like one of the Vicious Heart things that you can put in there, which increases your critical strike damage, but your non-critical strike damage gets reduced. If you can get this off pretty consistently, then I would say it is actually worth taking the critical strike damage increase because you're doing more critical strikes than normal damage anyway. Critical strike with core skills increase your attack speed, also very good. More attack speed means more casting, which means more everything. Increased damage to vulnerable enemies. You'll be making enemies vulnerable a lot with the Frozen Orb and also with your Frost Nova. And of course with the helmet, 40% damage against them with Unstoppable. You're constantly stunning elites and mobs, so they will be getting unstoppable quite a lot, and then you're just increasing 40% damage to them, and also their duration is increased, so all of your frost and that kind of things will also deal more damage. In my D4 planner build, I have done a lot more detail on the things I would say are best in slot, and then maybe you can look around for this for what I just said here for some of the alternatives. Then let's go to the abilities. Let's first do the skill tree because that's more important. For the skill tree, first 2 points don't really matter. Then I would say put points in Fireball. I don't have that many points left, so I only put 3 out of 5, but Fireball with the Destructive Fireball because now the critical strikes will do a little more damage. Then I would say getting Frozen Orb is really good because you can now even do vulnerable on enemies more consistently and then just on your Frost Nova when it's on cooldown. Normally you couldn't do anything else, but now with the Greater Frozen Orb you also have the chance to make them vulnerable, which will also increase your damage by quite a lot because we're stacking a lot of vulnerable damage. Then Devastation and Elemental Dominance, getting just a little bit more damage because you're constantly above 50% more mana, which means 9% damage increase. All into Chain Lightning, Enhanced Chain Lightning, Destructive Chain Lightning, so you get the Crackling Energies, which has 30% chance of critical striking, which has a lot more synergy. That's why I said earlier, getting a lot of critical strike chance goes very well in this build. I have an amulet that gives +3 on each and every defensive item, so getting the Flame Shield, you normally need to put a point in there, but I don't need to do that because I have +3 for each and one of the defensive skills. Flame Shield goes with 1 point because that's what you're going to equip. Then Teleport with the Enhanced Shimmering Teleport because you don't want to get that much damage in there, so 30% damage reduction for 3 seconds is quite nice. The alternative would be to get this one, but I don't, or just not put a point in at all. I wouldn't get this one personally. So Elemental Attunement is very nice. You can proc this once every 10 seconds quite easily. You need to have a lucky hit or critical strike chance, but you can do this quite consistently. Glass Cannon, of course, more damage. Ice Armor we're not using. And then Frost Nova, of course you need the vulnerable in there. I would say don't put any more points in there than you need to. I already have +3, which means the cooldown gets reduced by quite a bit. And then for defensive, passives. Of course, you get the mana shield and the protection. Both of these, this will constantly be up because you're spamming your chain lightning, and this will be constantly be up because you're also spamming your cooldowns and getting cooldown back from one of the other passives that we'll showcase later. Then the lightning spear with the stuns, you'll get mana back if they stun near you, so it's also great, and just getting more stuns generally is also a good thing. Because when they're stunned, they will be unstoppable, and when they're unstoppable, you'll do more damage to them with aspects. Or you could just kill them, and if they aren't dead yet or aren't unstoppable yet, you just deal a lot more damage to them. So stunning is great, that's why we have the lightning spear in there. Getting invigorated conduct, all of the points in there, so when you absorb crackling energy, which will happen a lot, each of your chain lightning has a 30% chance when the critical strikes to form a crackling energy. When you're on the map, you'll see a lot of crackling energies, and it's kind of like a mini game that you're picking up crackling energies so you can cast more. So you really need to watch your mana, but as I said earlier, if you've got good rolls on your ring, your mana problems will go away, and this mini game will just become less and less of a thing until you can actually forfeit these things and just don't need them at all. But for now, they're very good because they also synergize well with one of your keystone passives, which means that every time you pick them up, you'll get cooldown reduction, and it also means that unstable currents will be up more of the time. Unstable currents, however, we still need, and we're still picking that, and we also have the supreme unstable currents, which means crackling energy will continue pulse and consume with no charges, which is just a nice extra, but it's not really that needed. I think at the higher levels it's even less and less useful because the crackling energy doesn't do that much damage. Constant currents, 2%, 3%. I just think, I heard that the effect diminishes, but I always put this at 3% because you want as much critical strike chance as possible. Then electrocution, getting an damage reduction is always great, and I also put convulsions in there. It's not that known of, not that many people put the levels in convulsions, but because we deal extra damage against stunned enemies, this is just one more way to get easy stuns in there. Then your Paragon Board, starting out, you get the non-physical damage, of course, and then I would say for the Glyph Socket, I currently now have vulnerable damage, but one thing that's also really nice, which I don't have yet, is Elementalist. If you can get this leveled up, it can be really nice because it increases your non-physical damage and also gives you, for dealing fire, cold or lightning damage, you'll get extra damage, which is just like your amulet or the raffle heart inside of your amulet. It will just get extra and extra damage each time you cast a different element. But with this, you can just cast one spell and you already have a good chance that you're going to have all of the 3 elements just like that, which means a 15% damage increase, and that's very nice. Then for the second one, of course, getting Static Surge is quite nice because your mana problems will go away even more. All your lightning spear that's flying around stunning people will now give you mana back as well, which reduces your mana problems even more. I would say in this node, I would probably put then the Explode if you put it in the first one, or the Elementalist, switching them out where you see fit. Perhaps at the next node, I would place a Destruction if you got a lot of critical strike chance, and if you don't have that yet, maybe even an Imbiber if you know that you're healthy quite a lot of time. Imbiber is actually quite good. I think it's a little bit slept on, but there's also quite a few other ones that you could also put in there that are still solid. I think for this one, it's quite the basic stuff. If you're getting a lot of damage, Territorial is always nice. And also there was one more thing that could also help you out a lot with the other ones, but I will put that all in my D4 builds. I think I'll put in like 2 boards for now, or 3 boards, so you can see like if you're a lot higher level than what you need to do with the Paragon boards, because I still need to put like 30 points in there from all of the renown that I still need to get on this account. But this is a mid-game build, so I don't expect you to have your full Paragon board for that. I will make a full late-game build later on, but for now, this is all you're gonna get. Then, as for enhancements, the 2 of them that you need, of course, are Fireball and Frozen Orb. Frozen Orb will make it that you'll cast them every time you cast a core skill, which is basically your bread and butter, so you're constantly casting this. And when people die, then when the monsters dies, then they will explode in a Fireball, which is great because then you'll get just Fireballs, 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 and all of the Frozen Orb skills, and you'll just feel like you're the Avatar, just messing around, doing all of the elements except for air and earth, but we're not a druid, we'll get those later. Maybe if you party up with a druid, you can really be the Avatar together, and that really synergizes well. So that was it for the build. So as you can see, this is how I play the build. I'll put some gameplay afterwards, of course, so you could showcase a little bit more. That was it for this video. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.
I lack the needed mana. I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare that. I need time to prepare that. I need time to prepare that. I'm out of mana. I'm not ready yet. I need time to prepare that. I need time to prepare. I need time to prepare.
I need time to prepare that.